When I first saw the film Spike Lee's Mo Better Blues, I saw it maybe within the same year that it came out. And one of the last songs in the film is "A Love Supreme," and that piece in the film, and the song, I called my uncle, who was a huge, I knew he collected jazz albums, and he always was playing it when I came to the house. And so I called him because I only knew two musicians at the time, really. It was Miles Davis and it was Dizzy Gillespie. So I called him and I said, "Hey, what's that Miles Davis song that has," and I started like singing the words, "Love Supreme." He's like, "Oh no," he laughed at me, of course. He's like, "That's not Miles Davis, that's John Coltrane. Come around and I'll let you listen to it." And he played that track, well, he played that last, but he played a couple of his other songs. One was Africa, and it just blew me away. And he left me actually in a chair very similar to this, because he had it, he's coming out of the 70s and 80s, so he had cinder blocks in the wood shelves with his records on them, and he had a chair, and he gave me his headphones, and he said, "Listen to whatever you want." He left. And I must have stayed there about 3-4 hours, just listening to Coltrane's music, and it just blew me away, and I was just hooked on Coltrane in particular, but just jazz music at that time, because I'd been around it, but not that personal with it up until that point. I remember just being moved in a way by music that I had never been moved before. And I don't mean this in any enlightenment, esoteric way. Just, it touched me in a way, and it was relatable. And the thing about it is, without even knowing who Coltrane was, through his music, I felt a kinship with them, And it wouldn't be until later that I would learn parts of the way that we see the world, even the way we dress, just certain things that I started learning about him were very similar. And I don't know if it was the music that I was able to make that connection with, but I remember being in that chair with those headphones, and I'm hardcore hip hop at this time, all things hip hop, and at that moment it not mattering, and everything became about the world of jazz music, for me. And my uncle then teaching me how to read the album covers in terms of personnel, and then, okay, if you like these people and you start seeing these names around and you want to go grab these people, and if you like this quartet, so then it became about Jimmy Garrison and Elvin Jones, and McCoy Tyner, and then I learned about Lee Morgan, and so it started broadening even more, and then I started learning, so then I started going down and realized Coltrane played with Miles Davis, and then Herbie, so it became then Ron Carter, and then Tribe Called Quest album came out, and Ron Carter was on the album. Then I started making these connections too, and that's when that bridge I made between hip hop and jazz music. That 15, 16-year-old Aaron was just trying to understand how this music was affecting me in a way that it was. I mean, being in my room listening to it, for hours on end with my headphones, and this was a great period in hip hop, but Coltrane and all things jazz associated with that time period and that era meant so much more to me than anything did.